Schoolgirls Regatta 2, this combination, Ruby Lindray, April Harrison, Scarlett Tavaski, Ella Durant, Lucy Hodges, the Cox there, coached by Nick. Won state titles and time in 14 years, Gibson Grammar School were the champions. Schoolgirls Regatta, which concluded, as I mentioned a few times, about 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, which did not give us, many of us, too much time to make it up here to the Sydney International Regatta Centre for Monday morning. But in any case, the things we have to do to keep a watchful eye on the sport as Owen Nix moves out and goes to research Shades of Pink, and Stuart John has come in beside me.
Thanks, Richard. That's probably not the introduction I was expecting. Nixie with his Shades of Pink. But certainly Gibson Grammar looking very good out there in front at the moment. Regular visitors to the ACT as well. They make the trip up the Monero Highway to Canberra. They come up for a couple of regattas. They were up for the ACT Head of the Lake and the ACT Junior Championships in recent times as well. And semi-regularly we'll see them, as I say, make that drive up, and certainly very welcome visitors to the ACT regatta scene.
Mentioned a few times about these regional crews that do obviously have to travel to there's not many regattas unfortunately held in Sale. There are a couple every year, but so every time Gibson Grammar need to go and race against the other Victorian schools, they've got to travel either to potentially Ballarat or Geelong or Nagambie or up to Canberra or here to Sydney. So it is incredible the commitment of these the regional schools to travel around the country for racing competitions. Similar, of course, to like the Armidale school we saw in the previous heat.
Kinross.
Kinross Walleroy, very much so as well. So there are a number of schools who do have to travel a fair distance to get racing experience and get good results, and Gibson Grammar School certainly doing that here. Brisbane State High School as well in second place. Olivia Grant, Maggie Stafford, Indiana Jenkinson, Rose Ricks and Madeline Howard, coached by Tom Riles, David Vanders and Tom Herborn. They are clearly our top two. So you can see behind them the next heat coming through, I think already the 500 metre mark of that race. But on into the closing stages of this third repechage of 4 in the Schoolgirls Cox Quad Scull, with the top two being those crews from Gibson Grammar, Brisbane State High School. Third to be the Corowa Anglican Girls School from Melbourne, Nellie Whithouse, Mia Tan, Elizabeth Robson, Abby Sharrock and Julia Rogers, coached by Alish McGrath and Jane Robertson. They had a very successful head of the Schoolgirls Regatta 2, picking up 3 gold medals in that regatta, but they're going to go the way of the Gibson Grammar School, who will come across and take the win in this third repechage of the Schoolgirls Cox Quad. So Gibson Grammar first, Brisbane State High School in second, will also qualify for the semi-finals. And just missing out will be the Corowa combination on lane 4, followed by Strathcona there. And I have got a message confirming that the principal of Strathcona refers to it as coral pink, so we can put that mystery to bed. Strathcona in 4th in the coral pink and blue colours. 5th will go to lane 7, St Patrick's College from Townsville, and 6th place will be Unley High from South Australia. But Gibson Grammar School and Brisbane State High School, our 2 qualifiers there from the third repechage of the Schoolgirls Quad Scull, 7:35.55. So that's we've had 3 repechages, all within about 1.5 seconds of each other so far.
Moving on to repechage number 4 of the Schoolgirls Cox Quad Sculls, and again, first and second through to the semi. Lane 2, we have Melbourne Girls College, Gabrielle Simcox, Claudia Bell-Smith, Lucy Mansfield, Hannah Scoven and Aileen Gula is the coxswain. Lane 3, from the Ascombe School, we have Kitty Elias, Sabrina Koskar, Lucy Yabsley, Kitty Zuzak, Chloe Hitchens is the cox, and they're coached by our very own Christopher McCarthy, Lizzie Chapman and Gemma Calais. In lane 4, from Cardinia International College in Victoria, Audrey Semyeviv, Eliza Jenkins, Grace Holton, Eliza Dean, Violet McGregor is the coxswain, and they're coached by Wayne Nitschke and Anita Whitehouse. In lane 5, from Royton Girls School in Victoria, Matilda Pilkington, Honey Garcia, Pepper White, Ruby Draper, Olivia Michelini is their coxswain. Lane 6, from Rockhampton Grammar, we have Greta McCosker, Carolyn Sparks, Maeve Burnett, Asher Stewart, Even Peff is the cox, and they're coached by Rob Fay and Kimberly Brown. And then lane 7, from Hunter Valley Grammar, Samantha Chadwick, Georgie Jones, Erin O'Kane, Amelia Dennis and Emma Purdy is the coxswain. As we just see, I absolutely love this view, Richard, from the drone, looking out from behind. mental here, but I think that this is where rowing looks its best.
Yeah, it's an incredible view. Down the course here with the boats racing towards our drone. Spectacular sight with 6 quad sculls across the course here. Bikes on the far bank as well.
Well, I'm wondering if Lizzie Chapman's on that far bank, and if she is, she will be ecstatic at the moment because it is Askham leading by just under half a boat length ahead of Cardinia International College in second place, and then another boat length back to Royton Girls in third. So that's our 1, 2 and 3. Royton Girls certainly 100 metre mark, so it'll be fascinating to see what they've got left in the tank through that final 500 metres or so. And then back a little bit further, we've got Rockhampton Grammar and Hunter Valley Grammar battling it out. Hunter Valley Grammar with their bow ball out in front, and then back to Melbourne Girls College in lane number 2. So we'll just see them coming across the line here. It's still Askham School leading Cardinia International College by about a canvas, and then a boat length back to Royton Girls in third place. So they've got 3 seconds to make up over the last 500 metres or so. Only the first 2 to qualify for the semi-finals. So certainly it all to play for Royton Girls. Fourth place at the moment is Hunter Valley Grammar, and they've got themselves half a boat length ahead of Rockhampton Grammar in 6th, and then back a little bit further to Melbourne Girls College in lane number 2. As we just see, it does look like Cardinia International College just rowing up next now to Askham, and then and even rowing past them now, and now a little bit of an overlap from Royton Girls in lane number 5. So Askham just dropping off the pace a little bit. They've got about 250 metres left to go. Cardinia International College have now hit the lead. Askham in second, Royton Girls in third. First 2 to qualify, 200 metres to go. We're in for an exciting finish here, Richard.
We are, and worth noting too, Stuart, that Cardinia International College actually is a school that no longer has a rowing program. It ended at the end of last year. So these girls have been training from the Barwon Rowing Club throughout the season on the Barwon River, but obviously still here in the school events racing and the Cardinia International College name. But again, that's another name that will disappear shortly from the Victorian Schoolgirls program. And the Askham School, where Lizzie Chapman once taught many years ago, has returned to as the head coach, doing a very good job over there in the red colours. Askham and Cardinia, our top 2 here with 100.
Dropped off the pace a little bit through that final 250 metres. So a big push from Cardinia International College and the Askham School. They're battling it out, and bow ball to bow ball. Cardinia International College just moving ahead through the last 500 metres or so. And now it will be a win for Cardinia International College. Askham in second place, a canvas behind. They'll go through to the semi-finals. Royton Girls will finish in third place. So they'll finish just outside of that qualification position. And then coming through in fourth will be the crew from Hunter Valley Grammar in lane number 7. They'll finish a couple of boat lengths ahead of Rockhampton Grammar in 5th place. And then Melbourne Girls College in lane number 2 coming up towards the line now, and they'll finish in 6th. So a win there for Cardinia International College, a winning time of 7 minutes 33.72. So again, very similar times for our other heats as well. Gibson Grammar in the last heat, a 7:35.47. Some exciting semi-final action coming up tomorrow in the Schoolgirl Coxed Quad Sculls. Moving on, the race on the screen at the moment is Repechage number 5 of the Schoolgirl Quad Sculls, again first and second through to the semi-final. Lane 2 from Ballarat Clarendon, we have Chloe Bullen, Sinead Houlihan, Olivia Buckland, Alexandra Gilbert, Charlie Ferguson is the coxswain, they're coached by John Novak. In lane 3 from Melbourne Girls College, Olivia Kapka, Imogen Otter, Sarah Lay, Gemma Watson and Lila Artavilla is the coxswain. Lane 4 from Canberra Girls Grammar, Audrey West, Emmanuel Hoskin, Sophie Frost, Maddie Beasley, Eliza Miller is the coxswain, they're coached by her dad, Nigel Miller. In lane 5 from Melbourne Girls Grammar, Sophie Davies, Lucy Munro, Emma Kafaki, Zoe Paul, Lily Mossani is the cox. Lane 6, Strathcona in Victoria, Lily Douglas, Jasmine Harvey, Leah Leeton, Phoebe Borgia, Esther Young is the cox. And lane 7 from Roseville College, we have Angelina Bogosian, Sophie Hurl, Phoebe Herdman, Matilda Baird, Beth Lawrence is their cox, and they're coached by Katie Ashworth and Alex Brown.
Thank you, Stuart. One repechage remains the schoolgirls Cox Quad Skull and some racing in the school boys quad and the 8s to come. So I'm going to leave you for the rest of the afternoon, and Ray Ebbett will come in for the...
Thanks to Richard Dorstein for his commentary over the last couple of hours. On the screen, we've got Canberra Girls Grammar. Lane 3, Melbourne Girls Grammar in lane number 5. Those two crews absolutely side by side. So again, it's going to be a fascinating finish coming up here in the 5th repechage of the schoolgirls Cox Quad Skulls. Big shout out to all those who are watching from right around the country. I know of at least one person who's watching in from Canberra at the moment, cheering her Canberra Girls Grammar crew on, and they certainly have that lead coming up towards our final timing point at the 1,500 metres as Ray Ebbett moves into the commentary box. And Ray, it does look like that Melbourne Girls College are just starting to put a little bit of a surge on Melbourne Girls Grammar in lane 5.
It certainly does, Stuart, and thank you to all the team who've been working here today. Had a great day once again. But Canberra Girls Grammar leading Melbourne Girls Grammar and Melbourne Girls College, and then Melbourne Girls Grammar. Strathcona are next, and some interesting entries. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 from Victoria in this race, one from the ACT, and the Roseville College crew from Sydney, coached by Katie Ashworth and Alex Brown.
To take the qualification position. 300 or so metres left to row. Melbourne Girls College in lane number 3, away from the grandstand, away from the camera. Melbourne Girls Grammar in lane number 5, closest to the grandstand. So the Melbourne Girls College crew will all wearing the white t-shirts underneath the Zooties. The Melbourne Girls Grammar crew just with the blue Zooties with those stripes on the outside of the oars. Canberra Girls Grammar in the middle with that distinctive light green hair tie.
The hair tie certainly helps you identify who it is, doesn't it? We've had a couple of boats come down in the last 2 days with very distinctive ribbons in the hairs, but the crew there from Canberra Girls Grammar getting pressured now, Stuart, by Melbourne Girls College. They're really on the charge over there in Station 3.
Yeah, Melbourne Girls College have put an absolute surge on, and here come Melbourne Girls Grammar as well. It's Melbourne Girls College, Canberra Girls Grammar, Melbourne Girls Grammar. There's 2 spots in the semi-finals up for grabs. There's half a boat length, and that lead is shrinking. They're coming up towards the line now. It's about 4 or 5 big strokes left to go. It is going to be Melbourne Girls College just by a bow ball over Canberra Girls Grammar in second. Melbourne Girls Grammar a canvas behind in 3rd place. What a fantastic finish there for the crew from Melbourne Girls College. Just getting ahead of Canberra Girls Grammar. Melbourne Girls Grammar are less than a second back in 3rd, just missing out on qualification. Strathcona will finish in 4th place. And then we have Roseville coming through in 5th and Ballarat Clarendon in 6th place. The winning time there for Melbourne Girls College with a big last 500 metres, 7 minutes 31.63. The winning margin 0.39 seconds back to second and 0.75 seconds back to third. First 2 to go through, just a tick over a second between first and third, Ray.
And a great finish there from all 3 crews, just 0.39 as you said, and 0.75. And all you young people up here in the commentary box have used all the ink up in my pen. I should know. The poor old retired bloke brings his one pen that he's got and they use all my ink. Oh my goodness. Race 4-2-3 is repechage 1 of the schoolboys Cox Quadruple Skull. As with the schoolgirls, the same progression. The first and second through to the semi-final. In lane 2 is Unley High. Lane 3, Redlands from Sydney. Lane 4, Radford College from the ACT. Lane 5, the Southport School. And Lane 6 is Marist College, Canberra. And following the success yesterday, their first ever gold medal at the Australian Rowing Championships. I'm sure the whole squad is cock-a-hoop, Stuart.
Oh, look, they'll be absolutely stoked. And I know with the Marist College crew and the Marist College program, it is a volunteer school-run program. So You've got some people there putting in some absolutely monster hours with those crews and some great talent there. Harrison Brathwaite, an ACT, a New South Wales, and now a national champion. It was fantastic to watch. At the moment, though, it is the crew from Radford College from across the other side of Lake Burley Griffin. Joshua Miller, Ewan Gregg, Rowan White, Hamish Whittier, Moira Geraghty as the coxswain, coached by Will Hatcher, Mackenzie Moore and Gordon Marks. They've got half a boat length over the Redlands crew of Thomas Jackson, Thomas Hooper, Jack Meek, Angus McInnes, Fletcher Logan coxing them, and they're coached by Timothy Robertson, Alec Price and James Petering. So they're our 1 and 2 through the first 1,000 metres.
And Redlands are moving up there. They're very, very close to the leading crew from Radford.
And I would suggest that they are potentially our 2 qualifiers. Marist College is sitting in 3rd place. That's Hamish Ridd, Sam Martin, Riley Elliott, Riley Dale, Patrick Webber as the coxswain and coached by Tom Hayes and Peter Benny. And they were battling it out nicely with the Southport School in lane 5. George Schmidt, Harrison Howard, Kine Baird, William Box, Jack Houlihan, and coached by Stephen Muhlenberg. And then the crew from Unley High in lane 2, Luke Beaton, Ben Wilkinson, Evan Harbisher, Joel Belt, Tom Hollis is the coxswain, and they're coached by Mark Beaton and Becky Ford.
I think the first 2 have bolted, Stuart. There's at least a line of boys between each of these, the first 2 and then the next 2. And tailed off as a crew from Unley High. Unley High have brought a very big contingent to the regatta, and they've done very, very well, but they appear to be going to miss out and finish in 5th place in this particular event. But still a cracking race at the head of the field between Radford College and Redlands.
And coincidentally, you've got Radford who are in red and Redlands who are not.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
ironic.
So it is Radford and Redlands battling it out, and Redlands looking like they may just have their bow balls out in front. Again, the cheers coming in from the crowd. It's day number 5 of the Australian Rowing Championships for 2024. It's our first time back at the Sydney International Regatta Centre for 5 years. And it does look like, as they're coming up towards the line,
Radford are coming back.
Radford are giving a big push. Redlands have got some drive in them as well. Who's going to be able to go through and take the Repechage win? It will be Redlands by about the width of their bow number. Redlands with the win in the Repechage ahead of Radford College. Both crews going through to the semi-finals. The Southport School will finish in 3rd ahead of Marist College in 5th, and then back to Unley High Marist College in 4th, Unley High in 5th place. Winning time for Redlands is 6 minutes 48.67, and the winning margin 0.37 seconds.
And Stuart, 776, take your performance to the next level at the 776 BC Pop-Up this Australian Rowing Championships. Access exclusive regatta offers on 776's latest performance products. Connect with Australian rowing team athletes and learn how to get your club or school racing in 776 BC Custom. And one more ad before we go to the, here's the field here. Lane 2, Cranbrook. Lane 3, Emmaus College from Queensland. Lane 4 is Melbourne High School. Lane 5 is Pembroke School from South Australia. And lane 6 is the Hunter Valley Grammar Crew. And the Emmaus College is in Rockhampton in central Queensland. Bolle is an official partner of Rowing Australia and the sports eyewear provider of the Pathways team, and they are here on site at Cirque. Go and say hi to the team at the Bolle stand and check out some of the amazing high-definition sports lenses that are available. See for yourself some of the most advanced sports lenses on the market, including the amazing Volt Plus and Phantom lenses. Bolle are proud to partner with Rowing Australia and help you perform at your best.
Out in front, it is the Repechage 2 of the schoolboys, Coxed Quad Sculls. That's James Lau, Sam Eberbach, Oscar Eberbach, Joshua Kang and Aaron Diol as the coxswain. They're leading the Pembroke School crew of William Harvey, Tom O'Mahony, Jeremy Yu, Alex Lee, Jed Watson, coxing them, and they're coached by Simon Lane.
Interesting fact, Stuart, Sam Eberbach and Oscar Eberbach, the factory of the great boat builders, Empacker, is in the town of Eberbach. So these young men share a name with that town that hosts the Empacker factory of builders of the leading rowing boats in the world.
Now, where would we find that town?
in Germany somewhere. I've been there once.
Somewhere in Germany? It's a big country?
Yeah, it is a big country, but I went there once and someone else was driving. We picked up the boat, put it on the trailer and left. So I think it's closer to Heidelberg, I think. I'm not sure. I'm sure I can look on Google Maps.
All right, so while Razor's looking that up, we're looking at our leading couple of crews. A fascinating battle going on for third and fourth between the Cranbrook and Amos College from Rockhampton. So Cranbrook, the crew of Edward Williams, Toby Lane, Edward Hartright, Charles Mann, Tom Gloucester is the coxswain and coached by Adrian Henning. And next to them, Amos College from Rockhampton, Nicholas Thompson, Jai Ol, Tristan Vesey, Harry Brandt, Layla Struthers is the coxswain coached by Kim Byrne, Matthew Thompson. As we just see there, Melbourne High leading Pembroke School, Amos leading Cranbrook by 0.44 of a second, and then back to the Hunter Valley Grammar crew of Hayden Williamson, Thomas Foster, Edward Walsh, Luke Purdy, Zachary Jones is the coxswain coached by Odin McIntosh and Rowan Hislop.
It was a very good guess. It's closer to Heidelberg than any other major town. So there you go.
All righty.
Heidelberg's there and Eberbach's there. So there's your geography lesson for today here at the Australian Rowing Championships as they come inside the last 325 metres of repechage 2 of the schoolboys Cox. Arrow shape there, Stuart. I suppose that's how it's supposed to happen. The highest ranked boats are in the middle of the field and Melbourne High leading the field of Merrydanes here.
Yeah, they've got themselves a nice little Clearwater lead over our chasing pack. We've got Pembroke sitting in second place, but may be that we're seeing Amos and Cranbrook with a big push over the last 250 metres. They've got just over a boat length to make up though, and they may just run out of space unless Pembroke run out of gas. Out in front
the
though.
Emmaus College are rowing out of the Rockhampton Fitzroy shed there. So Kim Byrne and Matthew Thompson coaching at Rockhampton Fitzroy Club, and Emmaus College, one of a number of independent schools in the Rockhampton region, a very big centre for private schooling.
So out in front it is going to be Melbourne High to take the win, go through to the semi-final. Pembroke School will join them. Third place will be Emmaus College from Rockhampton, with fourth being the Hunter Valley Grammar crew, who absolutely flew through that last 500 metres and got their bow balls just ahead of Cranbrook in fifth. 4.11 for Melbourne High School in repechage number 2 of the schoolboys Cox Quad Scull. They'll be joined in the semi-finals by the Pembroke School.
And in repechage 3, the same progression, first 2 to go through to the semi-finals. In lane 2, Trinity Lutheran College from the Gold Coast. In lane 3, Cranbrook School. Lane 4, Launceston Grammar. Lane 5, Gippsland Grammar. And lane 6 is Prince Alfred College. So we've got Queensland, New South Wales, Tasmania, Victoria and South Australia. So we're not doing too bad. 5 different states in this particular race.
It's a wonderful geographic spread there, and the 2 leading crews could not be from more different places. We've got Launceston Grammar with the lead. That's Monty Brown, Charlie Toll, Archie Burke, Hamish Cooming. Matilda Wall is the coxswain, and they're coached by James Cooming and Jack Barrett. And then Trinity Lutheran from the Gold Coast. We've got Jed Rice, Teal Kerrin, Kai Lees, Christian Ruskow, Oliver Fruin is the coxswain, and they're coached by Sam Duncan and Eric Rowan.
Eric's the head coach there at Trinity Lutheran College on the Gold Coast. And Andre Pistonek, who's in Adelaide now, was the previous head coach. But Eric doing a terrific job having relocated from Tasmania a few years back.
And going from the bright green of Trinity Lutheran in second to the darker green of Gippsland Grammar from Sale in Victoria in third place, and certainly moving up now a little bit on Trinity Lutheran. So the Gippsland Grammar crew of Lagan Joshi, Evan Lewis, Hagan Cook, Samuel Reynolds, Camden Bayer is the coxswain coached by Henry McLeod and Helena Singleton. And then across to Prince Alfred College in lane number 6, James Dixon, Christian Smith, Arthur Halaftis, Nick Christensen, Tiago Barlow is the coxswain. They're coached by Thomas Johnson. And then the Cranbrook School, another boat length back from Prince Alfred College. That's William Vanderbilt, Alexander Murdoch, Inigo McVinish, Theodore Walsh, Owen Moody is the coxswain. They're coached by Adrian Henning.
And the Launceston Grammar crew in the black and white stripes there, doing better than the AFL team that wears the same colours at the moment. So they're out in front here, unlike Collingwood last night and for the last 3 weeks.
Well, look,
shout out to my old commentary mate Roger Wilson, who'll be listening and will be in mourning with Collingwood being 0-3 at the moment.
I'd like to expand on that a little bit more, except for the fact that the Brisbane Lions are Norton 2 and only about $1.20 against the buy. So it's.
I've just got a message supporting my statement. Actually, thank you, Wayne.
It is Launceston Grammar with the lead. Gippsland Grammar have done a really big push there through the third 500 metres, and managed to get themselves ahead of Trinity Lutheran. You can see there for the next few days of play here at the Australian Rowing Championships, we do have a range of fantastic camera angles. So we can just see here at the 1500 metre timing point, it is Launceston Grammar by a boat length ahead of Gippsland Grammar, who had that big premiership quarter, and then across to the crew from Trinity Lutheran, just starting to fade a little bit. Prince Alfred College in 4th and Cranbrook in 5th. So we've got the drone footage that you can see now. Between the start and the 1500, we do have the van that'll be going down the course, and you can see there it's got that ability to be able to show exactly what's going on with those crews. 34 strokes a minute for the crew from Launceston Grammar out in the lead, as we look across to Gippsland Grammar, who now have about a boat length lead. 33 strokes a minute, so slightly less. Trinity Lutheran College from the Gold Coast with it all to do if they are to try and qualify. And then I think we may just have had a crab there from the crew from Prince Alfred College. So very unfortunate. They've had to stop rowing. They've started back again. It did look like they may have had a bit of a crab there in the 3 seats on the stroke side oar. So unfortunately, they are well and truly out of contention now and only just getting that boat back moving again.
Gippsland Grammar on the charge here. They've got just a touch of overlap, but you note now that Launceston Grammar have just lifted the rate a fraction, haven't they?
It is one of the great things about rowing, because you can see exactly where the people are if you are in the lead, and Launceston Grammar have reacted well to that push coming from Gippsland Grammar and are just starting to push away now. Trinity Lutheran back a little bit too far now in 3rd place, so unfortunately they will miss out on the progression for the schoolboys Cox Quad Skulls. But Launceston Grammar from start to finish have the win in the 3rd repechage. 2nd place will go to Gippsland Grammar with a fantastic second 1,000 metres. 3rd place will go to the crew from Trinity Lutheran College on the Gold Coast, and then back to Cranbrook in 4th, and then Prince Alfred College in lane number 5 in 5th place. Unfortunately, having some equipment issues there in the Prince Alfred College crew. The winning time of 6 minutes 49.99. So again, very similar to the first repechage. A little bit slower than the second repechage, but Launceston Grammar did look like they had that well and truly under control for most of that race.
And I apologise to Launceston Grammar because it's actually blue and white stripes, not black and white. So very dark blue, but it is blue and white, not black and white. So they're not 0-3 like some people. So repechage 4 is on the course with the first 2 to go through. In lane 2, Rockhampton Grammar School, coached by Kim Brown and Rob Fay. Lane 3, the Southport School, coached by Elizabeth Halsell. Lane 4 is Ballarat and Clarendon College, coached by Kate Littlejohn. Melbourne Higher in lane 5. We have no coach listed there. And in lane 6 is Newcastle Grammar, and the head coach, Brad Smith, is coaching that crew.
And the chevron coming down the course. So Ballarat Clarendon, Joseph Belcher, Alistair Forsyth, Tiger Williams, Jake Connolly, and Alexander Grimer is the coxswain there. And next to that, well, there's nothing to pick between 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
Very close indeed.
It's extremely close. So Melbourne High in lane number 5, Mark Teal, Yangshang Huang, Tomoki Golek, Rahul Thomas and Joe Lim is the coxswain. The Southport School crew of John Anito, Hunter Douglas, Matthew Coleman, Samuel Butler, Hamish Coleman as the coxswain. And then Rockhampton Grammar in lane 2, Jackson Taylor, Henry Lau, Lachlan Yench, Ryan Hendry, Oliver Whaling Kane. So you can see there our crews in 5, 3 and 2. Our leading crew in lane number 4, though, from Ballarat, Clarendon. So again, a lovely geographic spread. We've got Rockhampton, we've got the Gold Coast, we've got Ballarat, Melbourne and also Newcastle.
Grammar, yeah. It's a good spread, that's for sure. And it's a good race, Stuart. The Ballarat and Clarendon College crew doing a great job out there, but Melbourne High are right in the mix. The Southport School trying to tag on, and Rockhampton Grammar are making a bit of a push on the far side, and Newcastle Grammar have probably dropped back into 5th place now, but the crew from Rockhampton Grammar are really going out after these other crews and that place into the final. Certainly comfortable is the crew from Ballarat and Clarendon. There's a bit of clear water there as the peloton gets angry and gets yelling at them. And the Southport School responding to the push from Melbourne High and have moved back into second. And then the crew from Rockhampton Grammar, and they've just plateaued a bit there as the crew in lane 5 come again. It's up and down between lanes 2, 3 and 5. Almost every second or third stroke there's a change in the margins there.
Yeah, this is going to be a race right to the line. Hold on to your hats. We've got 3 crews going for the 1 spot in the semi-final of the Schoolboys Cox Quad Sculls. You can see there Ballarat Clarendon College with the lead. A nice little bit of clear water. There is nothing between the Southport School, Melbourne High and Rockhampton Grammar. Second, third and fourth, but only second goes through to the semi. Newcastle Grammar in 5th place. That's Edward Baker, Mitchell Chung, Lucas Burton, Ronan Brown, Michael Thomas is the coxswain there. And they're not actually all that far behind either. They've not been dropped off the pace. They've managed to hold on, but certainly with it all to do over the last 500.
Take Ballarat and Clarendon out, and it would be a cracking race indeed. But Ballarat and Clarendon is certainly going to go on and win this race and go through to the semi-finals. Still anybody's guess that run from Rockhampton Grammar. Obviously, the coach has said you need to go for it in the third 500, but that push has run out of steam now, and it's still Melbourne High and the Southport School battling it out for second place. By the drone shot, it looks like the Southport School may have moved into second place. John Annetto, Hunter Douglas, Matthew Coleman, Samuel Butler, Hamish Coleman, Elizabeth Halsell, the coach of that crew. But don't write off Melbourne High just yet. Their coach Joe Lim trying to encourage Grammar crew. And as you said, Stuart, let's not write off Newcastle Grammar.
Clarendon with the lead. They're about the only crew you can say that will go through. We're into the last 75 metres or so. Ballarat Clarendon with that lead into the final few strokes. The Southport School in lane number 3. Rockhampton Grammar in lane 2. Melbourne High and Newcastle Grammar. Are they going to run out of space? The Southport School are out in front. It's a win for Ballarat Clarendon. Final couple of strokes. Big push coming here from a number of crews. Southport getting through to the semi-final just ahead of Melbourne High, Rockhampton Grammar and Newcastle Grammar. It was 4 seconds between first and second, and then 1 second back to Melbourne High in third, less than a second to Rockhampton Grammar, less than 2 seconds back to Newcastle Grammar. Ray, that's one of the best races so far.
Yep, it's a cracking race, and Ballarat and Clarendon and the Southport School will advance through to the semi-finals. Now we have the heats of the Schoolgirls Cox 8, sponsored by Bolle, and we thank Bolle for their sponsorship. Bolle is an official partner of Rowing Australia and the sports eyewear provider of the Pathways team. And in this we have in lane 1 Loretto Kirribilli from New South Wales. In lane 2 PLC Perth from Western Australia. Lane 3 Loretto Turak from Victoria. Lane 4 St Catherine School Victoria. Lane 5 Pymble Ladies College New South Wales. Lane 6 Scotch Oakburn from Tasmania, from Launceston. In lane 7 Shelford Girls Grammar from Victoria. And lane 8 is Canberra Grammar School, obviously from Canberra.
And first and second to go straight through to the A final, with the rest going through to the repechage. And we can see there up on the screen our 2 crews potentially going through to the A final would be Loretto Turak and Pymble Ladies. Our 2 leading ones. Canberra Grammar in lane number 8.
They're
also
not
pushing
out of it.
Pymble Ladies, lane number 3, Loretto Turak. Canberra Grammar in 3rd, Loretto Kirribilli. PLC Perth in 5th place, then St Catherine School Victoria in 6th, and then back to Scotch Oakburn from Tasmania in 7th place. And then we have the final crew to come through.
Yep.
And that is Shelford Girls Grammar in 8th place.
In lane 7, yes, they're back in 8th place.
So the Pymble Ladies crew: Mia Booth, Mika Nato, Millie Cullinane, Scarlett Ollison, Megan Wood, Alessandra Brasic, Erin Porter, Holly Craig, Carolina Yema is the coxswain. They're coached by Carl Schmidt. And then Loretto Turak, Zoe Christokides, Neve Thomas Leach, Olivia Carroll, Rohi Curry, Audrey James, Alexandra Fairchild, Charlotte Grant, Maisie Richards, Lucy Marsh is their coxswain. They're coached by Connor McConville.
And this is absolutely bow ball to bow ball with a reasonable sized peloton following it down. But these two leading boats, one in yellow, one in blue, Loretto Toorak in the blue boat and the crew from Pymble Ladies in the yellow M-Packer. Stroke for stroke with that shot, you'd think that the Loretto Toorak crew would have their bow narrowly in front now of the early leaders from Pymble Ladies College.
Yeah, and then on either side, we've got a nice little battle for third and fourth. So Loretto Kirribilli on the right-hand side of the screen, Isabel Howard, Alexandra Whiston, Avery Brown, and Emma Bundle. Holly Madison Duncan, Estella Robertson, Jade Wilson. Chamisha Dayajiwa is the coxswain, and they're coached by Beth Bryan.
And Eva Eels, the daughter of John Eels, and Avery Bramble is Larissa Beethenthal and Ian Bramble's daughter. So went to school in Canada for a couple of years, but back here now in Australia. Her parents both Canadian, but she's back here. And Larissa was on one of the Olympic teams I had the pleasure of managing, and Ian rode in the Olympic Games in the lightweight for Canada. But it is the Pymble Ladies College crew, Loretto Toorak, I should say, that has established the lead there in the championship quarter, Stuart.
Yeah, they've got themselves half a boat length ahead of the crew from Pymble Ladies College here in Sydney. And you can see there the looks of absolute determination as these rowers go into the last 250 metres. So it's Loretto Toorak leading Pymble Ladies. Those two, as things stand, to go through to the A final, and then Loretto Kirribilli battling with Canberra Grammar over in lanes 1 and 8.
I reckon Canberra Grammar, don't you? But it's difficult to line them up. It's like the straight six at Flemington. One's on the inside rail, one's on the outside rail, and Matt Hill gets confused, so why shouldn't we? But it's a wonderfully timed second half by the crew from Loretto.
They have pulled away. It's been bow ball to bow ball for the majority of the race, and then through that third 500 they started to pull away by half a boat length. They've got another half a boat length now, and it's clear water. It's going to be a heat win for Loretto Toorak in the schoolgirl coxed 8s. Second place going to Pymble Ladies, so they'll qualify straight for the A final. It will be, as you say, Ray, Canberra Grammar in third place, but they do have to go through the repechage. Loretto Kirribilli in fourth place. Fifth place will go to St Catherine's School Victoria in lane number 4 ahead of PLC Perth in lane 2. They'll finish in 6th. Then we have in 7th place, and then a bit of a gap in the field to Shelford Girls Grammar from Victoria. So our winning time for Loretto Toorak, a 6 minutes 47.54 and a winning margin of just a tick under a second. So still very, very close throughout that race. Loretto Toorak and Pymble Ladies to go through to the A final of the Schoolgirls Cox States.
So we understand that winning crew is more used to racing over 1,500 metres, so well done to win over 2,000. The second heat of the Schoolgirls Cox 8, sponsored by Bolle. In lane 1, St Catherine's School again from Victoria. Lane 2 is Furbank Grammar from Victoria. Lane 3, Melbourne Girls Grammar. Lane 4, Seymour College from South Australia. Lane 5, PLC Perth, Presbyterian Ladies College Perth. Lane 6, MLC, Methodist Ladies College from Victoria and based in Kew. Lane 7, St Michael's Collegiate School from Tasmania. And lane 8, St Catherine's School from New South Wales. And they would be the favourites, I would think.
Yeah, they're also in the lead. Bianca Rupick-Williams, Alice Steed, Evelyn Stitka, Madeline Manning. They're coxed by Jasmine Abela and coached by Jared Watson and Richard Coakley. And we see them through 1,000 metres, leading Melbourne Girls Grammar, Seymour College in 3rd, MLCQ in 4th, Furbank Grammar in 5th. And then PLC Perth in 8th. 8th place. So Melbourne Girls Grammar and Seymour College just on the screen there, looking very close indeed. Melbourne Girls Grammar just with by about a canvas over Seymour College. So that's Matilda Heyman, Adelaide Banks, Megan Barrow, Lily Wallace, Lulu Burney, Samantha O'Keefe, Maddie Clifford, Emily and Seymour College in South Australia, Annie McNally, Lucy Pocock, Sasha Humble, Georgia Walters and Saska Walker is the coxswain there.
And the leading boat from St Catherine's School stroked on the bow side, as all old bow-siders would say, cut a bow-sider in half and make 2 stroke-siders. And she's doing a great job. That's very polished schoolgirl rowing. And they had a wonderful season last year, St Catherine's, including winning this and going on to the Henley Royal Regatta. But Melbourne Girls Grammar have had a couple of successes in this event over the years also, and this year being stroked by Emily Anthony, the daughter of Olympic champion from 1992, Peter Anthony. And they've just got a bit of overlap now, Melbourne Grammar, on that St Catherine's crew. St Catherine's went out well. They went out very hard indeed and established a nice lead. But there's just a touch of overlap there for the crew from Melbourne Girls Grammar. And Seymour College from South Australia doing well. Annie McNally, Lucy Pocock, Sasha Humble, Georgia Walters, Grace Barrera, Daisy Holland, Isabella Lease, Ella McKay and Sasha Walker is the coxswain of that crew. And MLCQ is in 4th position. Then back to Furbank Grammar, St Michael's Collegiate, St Catherine's School of Victoria. Remembering that the first 2 only go to the A final, the remainder goes to the repechage.
And Melbourne Girls Grammar through that third 500 put the gap on Seymour College, who were staying close to them, and now just starting, as you say, Ray, just starting to get close to St Catherine's School, New South Wales. As we see there, that crew from Melbourne Girls Grammar. Seymour College, though, now just doing a little bit of a pushback. They've got 250 metres and about 3 seats to make up if they are going to go straight through to the A final of the Schoolgirls Cox State. This is the 3rd last race of the day, and you love to finish with a bit of big boat energy coming.
And there is plenty of energy on this side of the course in the grandstand, and have a look at the energy in the peloton over there, and hopefully they've all got their helmets on. St Catherine's School of New South Wales, they're going to lead all the way to win Heat 2. It'll be interesting to compare the times, Stuart.
Yeah, so St Catherine's School from New South Wales with that lead, they're just dropping that rate down, making sure there's still plenty of power going through those strokes, and with a couple of big ones left to go, they are going to go through and take the heat win, go straight through to the final. 2nd place with a big third 500 will be the crew from Melbourne Girls Grammar, half a boat length ahead of Seymour College in 3rd place. And then the battle for 4th and 5th, it'll be 4th going to Furbank Grammar, just ahead of PLC Perth in 5th place. In 6th and 7th, we've got the crew from St Michael's Collegiate down in Tasmania. They're going to go through, they're going to finish in 6th place ahead of St Catherine's School Victoria in 7th and MLCQ in 8th. Winning time for St Catherine's School New South Wales, a 6 minutes 40.6, a winning margin of a tick over 5 seconds, and that compares to a 6:47, yes, for Loretto Turak.
And the next one is underway, our penultimate race of the day. Heat 1 of the Schoolboy Cox 8, again sponsored by Bolle, and we thank Bolle for their sponsorship of this event and of the regatta. In lane 1 is Nudgee College. In lane 2, the Friends School. Lane 3, St Ignatius College. Lane 4, the Shaw School. Lane 5, St Joseph's College. Lane 6, St Ignatius College. Lane 7, Newington College. And lane 8 is Brisbane Grammar School. And St Joseph's winners of the Head of the River last Saturday here, and they're coached by Michael Lane and Will.
St Joseph's, Darcy Williams, Matthias Maloney, McKinley Dooley, Alex Negleen, Thomas Maloney, Gus Siasolka, Samuel Basher, Finlay Mitchell, Jonathan Yates is their coxswain, and they've got just be over a canvas lead over the crew. Justin Zuckerman, Jeremy Holmes, Alistair Brown, Ambrose Hennessy, Angus McGrath, George Field, Henry Burton is their cox, and they're coached by Matthew. Right through to the A5.
third place by the look of it, coached by a bit of a turnaround today in the as they are known up there and challenging the Joey's crew that are in the lead.
Yeah, St Joseph's still with that lead. It's still St Ignatius in second place. They're now half a boat length down, coming through the 1500 metre timing point. So we'll see here, St Joseph's still leading St Ignatius in second. They're not letting go of the St Ignatius crew. Then we've got Shaw sitting in third place. The second St Ignatius crew in fourth. Then Brisbane Grammar, Friends School, Newington and Nudgee College making up our field. So a very tight race, this one. This is for the Barrington Cup and the Schoolboy Cox State, one of the most prestigious schoolboy races in Australian rowing. St Joseph's College from Sydney with that lead, extending it out just to about 3/4 of a boat length now, Ray.
Yes, they are. And Brisbane Grammar School are in Station 8. They were second in the head of the river in Queensland a couple of weeks ago behind the Southport School. And in the same event. So prominent crews coming here. Unfortunately, as I've said on a number of occasions, the Victorian head of the river tomorrow, but that's the priority. And it's allowing these New South Wales and Queensland, South Australian, Western Australian crews, Tasmanians to vie for the Australian. All the way in Heat 1. St Ignatius in Station 2 will finish in second place. Third will be the Shaw School in Station 4, and then still in lane 3. And then will it be Brisbane Grammar School will be 5th over here in Station 8, and then the Friends School will be 6th. 7th will be Newington, and 8th will be Nudgee in Station 1. 5:58.39, so not lightning fast. 5:58.39. Margin 1.95 by 4.05. Heat 1 of the champion Schoolboy Cox State. And Heat 2's underway, Stuart. Lane 1, St Peter's College from South Australia. Lane 2, the Hutchins School from Tasmania. Lane 3, Brisbane Grammar School. Lane 4, Prince Alfred College from South Australia. Lane 5, the King's School from New South Wales. Lane 6, the Southport School. Lane 7, Brisbane Boys College. And Lane 8, Scotch College from Adelaide.
So King's School with the lead early ahead of Hutchins School from Tasmania, and also next to them the Southport School from sitting Harry Dawson, Leonardo Hughes, Jeffrey Warren, John L. Nikos, Karathanasopoulos, Mac Ramsey, Caden Miller-Wright, Jed Gailey, Sean Mudamu is the coxswain, and they're coached by Cameron Kennedy. And then the Hutchins School crew, Josh Fielding, Brody Wills, James Moy, Hugo Wilkins, Charles Leesong, Oliver Hart, Sam Michael, Henry Pitt, Angus Watling, and coached by Mark Stott.
The Brisbane Boys College are predominantly the chances for next year's first 8, more of a development crew, as is the Brisbane Grammar crew in Station 3. But it is the King's School that leads, 2 minutes 54.91, and the Southport School just 1.34 back, and then the Hutchins School. So we've got a New South Wales, a Sydney crew leading a Queensland crew, and a Tasmanian crew in third place. And they're coming strongly, the Tasmanians as well, the Hutchins School. They were right up there early. They got passed by the Southport School, and they're trying to come back once more to tag on to these first 2 boats.
Yeah, they're not letting go with 750 metres to go again. First and second through directly to the A final. This is the last race for day 5 of the 2024 Australian Rowing Championships. It's half a boat length there between the King's School in lane number 5 and the Southport School in lane number 6, with the Hutchins School in lane number 2 sitting half a boat length back in third place. Over on the far side of the screen, you can see St Peter's College from South Australia. That's Joseph Harrington, Oscar Worm, Vincent Baroni, Josh Myers, George Griffith, Lawrence Anderson, George Wicks, Hugh Hazel, Anand Holloway is the coxswain. They're coached by Bridget Carlisle.
Now, I was just trying to see the name of that boat there for the leading boat for the King's School, but I missed it. But the Kings on 4:26.11. They're 2.2 seconds in front of the Southport School. So the best part of a length in this class of boat. And Brisbane Grammar, I think it's the Hutchins School are in third place. Pretty certain of that over there in those red colours. I think might have been a wrong button pushed there, but a very big peloton as these two crews from Sydney and the Gold Coast respectively fight it out for those first two spots. The Hutchins School have been a brave effort, and Mark Stott coaching that crew. They're trying to get into the mix, but they've on the Southport School, and they're rapidly running out of territory. There's only 250 metres to go as the King's School go through the 250 metre mark to go.
King's School leading the Southport School. Coming from the crowd now as they're getting into the final stages. They've gone through the red boys. They're into the final final 10, 20 strokes or so. It has been the King's School right from the start. Southport School have not let them go, but we're just seeing a surge come here from the King's School, getting ahead of the Southport School. Hutchins in lane 2, St Peter's College in lane number 1 as well. Also pushing hard. Are they able to make it up on the Southport School, qualified directly for the final? The King's School, though, from half a boat length to a full boat length over 150 metres, and they'll the Hutchins School in will be the crew from Brisbane Boys College in lane number 7, then Prince Alfred College in lane 4, finishing in 8. The winning time there, a 5 minutes 56.85.
2 seconds faster than the previous heat, Stuart.
Are we in for a great final on this one, Ray?
I certainly think so, yes. It's a terrific competition. As well, of course, we'll have the repecharges tomorrow and the final on Sunday. As the tradition, is it the last race before we go into the interstate regatta usually? Oh, the club races are, yeah, these days, yeah. But we look forward to tomorrow's racing. Stuart, we need to wrap up today. What was
the end of today? You know, you can really hear the passion that goes in from the schools, how much they absolutely get into it. The peloton going down, the crowd's going absolutely nuts. Can't wait for the finals based on what we've seen today.
Yeah, and I think to see some of the senior A athletes who've been selected to go to World Cups and hopefully onto Olympic Games, I thought the women's double were very, very good today, and the men's four to look forward to. And finals to come, and tomorrow afternoon we've got the sprints.
Yeah, the sprint regatta, looking forward to that. That'll be all exciting. It's barely a chance to take a breath.
It is, and I think Richard and Chris McCarthy are looking forward to doing the commentary once again. They tried to quarantine that if they could. They must get very excited with that. So a big thank you to Stuart, John and all of the commentary team. Another great day's presentation from here at the Sydney International Regatta Centre. And we'll be on the air from about 7:45 tomorrow morning, and we'll begin racing.
Rowing Australia is broadcasting live via livestream.com and also linked via our website all week until the final race on Sunday. This year we are also broadcasting the finals via the Sports Entertainment Network from Thursday to Sunday. Hello to all our interstate and international viewers, and we look forward to welcoming you to the Sydney International Regatta Centre tomorrow morning.